You want to see what's on TV, little Leota? See if we can find anything good?
Oh my god. Hi guys. Welcome back to my channel. You are not gonna believe it, but I have found the secret to the perfect booty. Let me just ask, are you guys tired of having butts like plywood? You want to have a nice peachy behind? Well, let me tell y'all, I have found the secret. I can take your butt from looking like this to looking like this in just 1 week. Are you ready to get started?
Well, that was a waste of time. What do you think?
Hello, lovely humans. My name is Heather and this is my channel, Thighs the Limit. Welcome back. So today we are going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly with challenge videos. So the first part is the most obvious. Things are not as they appear. Excuse you. My cat is rubbing his face on the tripod. Not helpful. Adorable hand. So the first and most obvious part is that things are not as they appear. When we took my photos, those before and after, those were literally an hour apart. There was not some magical cure. It was, how am I angling my butt? How are we angling the camera? And where am I putting that light source? And also leggings. The fitness influencers that do all these before and after pictures don't only do whatever it is that they are advertising in that challenge. You know, if it's a booty workout, that's probably not the only workout they're doing for their butts. A lot of them are going to the gym, they're lifting weights, they've been eating right. It's usually a combination of things that have been happening for quite some time. There's also the outfits. Yo, oh my gosh. There are so many different outfits that make you look different in the before and after pictures. Take, for example, the pictures that I posted in the intro. There's the before and after. In the before, that is me. The before, I'm in sweatpants. They're not particularly flattering. And in the after, I am wearing leggings that I got off of Amazon that are designed to make your butt look better because they have that little like whooshing thing. I will say those were some interesting leggings because they were a little sheer and the lighting happened to where it looked like there were some questionable parts showing that were definitely not and made for some awkward shadows. Which brings me into the next part of this, Photoshop. It is a thing. Even if someone is taking photos of something like an iPhone, they can still alter them. In this particular case, my friend who took the photos, which I gotta say, it's rather nice to have friends who you can call and be like, hey, can you come over and take pictures of my butt? And they won't ask any questions, they'll just come. So, thanks, Gabe. But my friend who took the photos did use his iPhone to kind of make things look a little more smooth on the side. Because let's face it, we evolve with the love handles and then it's like the butt. It's not just like, ooh, perfect. But pun not intended. You can edit your photos even on a smartphone to make them look more appealing. And that is absolutely what fitness influencers and whoever else does the before and afters are doing. There's also other things to consider, like the lighting the photo is taken. In the before photos, it is almost always crappy lighting that is done at an angle to make you look extra unflattering. Like if someone's trying to say, oh, my face looks so much slimmer, you'll notice that a lot of times the photo is at an angle that's slightly underneath, which, y'all, no one looks cute when the photo is down here. It needs to be like up here. That's just what people do. But they changed the lighting, they changed the position of the photos, and also the big thing is the position in which they are standing. So in my picture, for example, it took us about an hour to get both of them. The first one, I will say it was actually kind of interesting watching videos trying to learn how on earth to pose for before and afters, because y'all, there's kind of an art to it. Oh my gosh. For the first one, I was basically positioning to kind of like squash my butt cheeks together and make them look like two little potatoes that were just really unhappy. And for the second one, it's all about, okay, how do you make your waist look smaller so your butt looks bigger and get it at just the right angle for your hips? There's a lot that goes into it. So when people are seeing these challenge videos and they're seeing the before and after photos, a lot of times those results are really unrealistic. There's so many different factors that go into it, and a lot of people end up really disappointed after they do them, and they're like, hey, I'm not getting the results that I wanted. You know, what's going on? And I won't say the workouts are a scam, because sometimes it is a really good workout. It's just there's other factors to consider. One of those other factors is time. So when you see a workout that's like, hey, you're gonna have the perfect butt in a week, it's not going to happen. And here's why. So in our muscles, we have different fibers, and those fibers do different things. I'm gonna give you an example. So let's say that this lovely stash of pipe cleaners is your muscle. It's made up of all different fibers. And of these fibers, there's different ones that do different things. For example, you have some that are gonna be more efficient for doing things like powerlifting. You need a lot of force in a short amount of time. Other types of these fibers are gonna be more efficient for things like running a marathon or doing something that takes a lot of endurance. There's different things that go into what makes those fibers efficient. I'm not gonna cover that here. If you do wanna look up more, there are tons and tons of videos on YouTube. I just wanna give you guys a general idea. Now, an easy way to think about it is if you were the captain of a dodgeball team. Each one of these little fibers are the players that you can pick from to be on your team. Now, the first time you play, you've never met these people, so you're like, okay, I'm just gonna wing it and see. And I like these three. They seem like the most efficient. I don't know, they look the strongest or something. They look the angriest, whatever category you need for dodgeball. And you play your game, and you realize, okay, these two, they were on it. They nailed some people in the face. Assuming that's not a foul. I haven't played dodgeball in a really long time. But this guy, he wasn't so great. So the next round of dodgeball, you're like, okay, I'm gonna keep these two guys, but I'm gonna pick this guy for my team. It's also known as recruitment. So basically, as you are doing more workouts of a certain type or a certain workout routine, your body gets smarter about how it chooses the muscle fibers it wants to recruit to do the motion. When you've done a workout for a week, it is possible that you might notice that you've gotten better at it. The thing is, it's not a matter of your muscles hypertrophying. And by hypertrophying, I mean growing. So when you are building muscle, that's what I'm talking about. That's when you go from having muscle fibers that look like this to muscle fibers that look like this. They're thicker. That's muscle growth. That's what you are not going to see in a 1 week challenge, because it takes roughly 6 weeks before you actually start seeing muscle growth. So when you're doing these 1 week butt challenges or, arm challenges, whatever the challenge is, yes, things might get a little bit better because your body got smarter about what team it was choosing of your muscle fibers to do the job. And it's going to change depending on what you do. So for example, if you're playing dodgeball, the people you might choose for your team won't necessarily be the same people that you want to choose to play tennis. Every activity is different, but the more you do it, the smarter your body gets about what fibers it's selecting. After you hit that 6 week mark, that's when those specific fibers start to grow because they've had enough time to build. There's a lot more that goes into it, but that's the basis. That's what I really wanted to get across to you guys, just because not everyone knows how muscles work. I'm still learning more about it myself. I just thought it was really interesting and I wanted to share with you guys. But I want to let y'all know how important it is to kind of take these videos with a grain of salt. The challenge videos, I mean, not mine. So, are all challenge videos crap? No, of course not. There's great workouts out there. You just have to keep in mind what you're doing. So if I want to do, say, a challenge that makes my butt fabulous, that's great, but keep in mind that your results after 1 week or 2 weeks are not going to be the same thing as if you've been doing this for 6 weeks. So if you want lasting results, you're going to have to do it for a while. Now, the good thing about challenge videos is that they get us active. And I know a lot of us YouTubers that are doing this whole weight loss adventure thing, we've been doing these challenge videos left and right. And that's awesome. I just don't want people to get discouraged and be like, oh my gosh, I did this challenge video for 2 weeks and hardly saw any results. That's okay. We didn't get to whatever size or lack of fitness overnight. You're not gonna get, big buff and fabulous booties overnight either. It takes work. Now, the last kind of tidbit of this that I really wanted to share is about activity levels. because generally speaking, if we're all doing a bunch of challenges, it's because we're trying to get more active and we want to get some sort of exercise in. And we have a general idea that it's good for us, which it is. But you can also hear from a lot of different YouTubers about what they think you should be doing for a workout each week or each month or each day. Some of them are pretty on par with what it actually should be. Some of them are going based on what makes them feel better. You know, it's different for everybody. However, there is actually something out there that clarifies what you should be doing. There's an organization called the National Institute of Health, and they have actually put out guidelines for what you should be doing weekly for exercise. And I wanted to share that with you guys just so you know. So the first thing they recommend is a minimum of 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity aerobic exercise. So aerobic exercise is the stuff that really gets your heart rate going, more endurance activities, you need more of that oxygen. 150 minutes a week is what they recommend for the minimum. For more vigorous exercise, still aerobic, they are recommending a minimum of 75 minutes a week. And it's acceptable to do some combination of the two. Now you can't forget weightlifting, because you got the aerobic stuff covered, but you want to do something to work out each individual muscle group. And the idea that they are putting forth is that to do this, you should be doing moderate or high intensity level of muscle strengthening for your major muscle groups for 2 or more days a week. I am going to post a link in the description so you guys can actually see this online. It does go more in depth, but the idea is get active. If you can't do 150 minutes a week of moderate level activity, that's okay. The whole point of this adventure is that we are doing some baby steps to get to where we need. For me, the biggest thing was just not sitting on the couch all day and stuffing my face. Or studying, because let's be honest, who has time for anything else these days? Except for now, because I'm on Christmas vacation. So if you start off and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, the idea of walking around a block is overwhelming. That's okay. You don't even have to go around the whole block the first time, but the point is, do what you can do to get active and build up to that. Big thing also is your cardiovascular and respiratory health. So when you are doing things like aerobic exercise that get your blood pumping, your heart flowing, that's not right. Your heart pumping, your blood flowing, that's good. It's giving it a challenge, it's helping your lungs, and those are two very, very important things. If your heart and your lungs are not working right, it's not gonna go well. So start wherever you need to start, but start today if you haven't already. I just want to remind you guys that wherever you are in your journey today, you absolutely should love your body every single step of the way. It's worth it. You are worth it. Not just when you hit your goal weight. Every single step, from beginning to end, love yourself. Bye-bye. But I've been like, for like the last 10 minutes. But whatever. I'll take my fabulous fakery elsewhere.